My daughter came over, my oldest, and was texting me and like, Mom, Max looks really down. And she said the right side of his stomach looks inflamed. And we went straight to the ER, but we went to Lurie's, so a children's hospital. And on the whole way there, I seriously thought I was going to lose my son. He couldn't breathe. And when I seen 3 doctors walk into the room, my heart just sank. And I think like the hardest part was for me, like, I'm not going to go home. I have other kids here. I actually didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew like I got to do whatever it takes to get him better.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Flores Report. I'm your host, Danny Flores. Yes, this is a Flores Report, guys. Today is a little different because we have a special guest in the building. This guest is a strong woman, a strong mom. She's been through a lot, from her kid having cancer, hate on social media, and so much more, guys. But today I have the pleasure to interview Cooking with Toni. Hey, Toni, how are you?
Hi, Danny. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, just chilling, killing. Okay, not killing. Sorry. Hey, I say, I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Scary Movie?
No.
I've
seen like the original one. I never seen all the other ones.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first one. Yeah, with the parody they make of Scream. Well, there's a scene where he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, chilling, killing. That's why I get it. That's where I get it from. People don't think I'm actually,
out there,
yeah, Michael Myers and shit.
Okay.
No, that's where I get it from. So relax. So yeah, Toni. So I know you're on Facebook. You're on Facebook. Your name's Cooking with Toni.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing social media? Are you just like on Facebook or other platforms?
I'm on other platforms. I'll go live on TikTok very rarely. I really need to build my platform over there. I have a decent platform over there, but mainly on Facebook. This would be my 4th year in May doing it.
Okay. And have you been doing just full time or recently full time?
Recently full time. So when I first started, I had just transitioned from jobs. So I worked for Blaze Pizza. I was a general manager. I worked in the restaurant industry pretty much my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
serving, bartending, managing. I became a general manager. I loved working there. I loved my job. COVID was hitting
Mm-hmm.
and they were going to shut down the restaurants. Max was still very little. And I was getting concerned, like, I'm going to still have to work no matter what's going on in the world because the restaurants are still going to function.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming home to my baby who I'm going to get sick. So my daughter at the time was working in the mortgage industry. It was booming. So they were offering like really big bonuses for them to refer people. So I started doing that. And it was a work from home position. So COVID hit, started working from home, and I just started going live. I'm just going to go live to cook. I'm at home 24/7.
Yeah.
And so I just started going live cooking. And then it just was part-time for that. And then it became full-time when Max was diagnosed.
Okay. And what do you prefer? Working Blaze Pizza or Facebook?
So in my mind, when I went to work every single day, I was a general manager working 70 hours a week. And then I had 2 jobs. I had a
Holy
part-time too,
crap.
but yes.
Damn.
I knew that I got paid every 2 weeks. This was the amount I get paid no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved the stability of knowing I show up to work, this is what I'm getting. Facebook doesn't really pay me much because it just sucks. So I sell on there.
Yeah.
So if I don't go live to sell, or if I'm not like posting to try to sell, like I don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like I'm torn because I even thought about going back to work recently now that Max is thriving, but because I'm torn between like, okay, if things happen and I do, can't go live, or Max is sick and doesn't allow me to go live, like I can't sell.
Yeah, that's what I don't think a lot of people understand. Like us that do social media, like literally, first you have to have your own schedule. But if you don't go live or make videos a day, you don't get paid.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what.
And then you do go live. There's times where I went live all week.
Uh-huh.
Hey, go to my website. I got a 20% off code, and you don't get sales.
Yeah.
So it's a small business that just started. So there's times where you don't really. So that's what I miss. I miss just the stability of like knowing my income.
Same. Trust me. Because I literally, I don't know if you heard, but I took like a month and a half off. Like I was still working, making videos, but it wasn't the same. So yeah, that hit me hard, like
Did you
hard.
take it off for like personal reasons or?
uh, it was like a mental health break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to take this off and then start fresh in January. So
And it is because I've done that too, where I'm not gonna go live this week.
yeah,
I'm like today I'm sick. I'm like I don't want to go live this week, but it hits you. It hits you hard,
I
and people
know.
don't understand.
I know. Literally, it's a. Some people have a conception of this being a easy job, or is a misconception of
That
sorry,
misconception of
misconception,
what we
yeah,
do, what we do.
of social media being a super simple job, but it's hard, bro. Especially I don't know if it's for you, but like for me, I have to create video ideas, and it's hard to come up with ideas every single day. For you, it's probably hard to sell.
Yes,
Yeah, so it's tough out in these streets.
it is. I mean, people, and that's what I say. People truly don't understand it. And of
Yeah.
course, I would love to just go live 6, 7 times a day, like. But I also have 4 children. I'm about to be a grandma.
Oh
Like,
wow, congratulations.
yeah. So my 21-year-old is having a baby, which I'm excited for. A baby's always a blessing. But like, if I could sit on a live video and go live for 7, 8, 6, 5 hours, whatever it is,
Mhm.
it would be easier. Who knows?
Yeah. So that was my next question because like I mentioned, guys, this is the first time meeting Tony. How many kids do you have? You have 4 kids?
I do have 4 kids. I have a 23-year-old, 21-year-old,
Oh.
14, and then Max just turned 5.
Do you have two and two, like 2 girls, 2 boys?
Two girls,
Oh,
2 boys.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And they're like alternating. I had like girl, boy, girl, boy.
Oh, cool,
What
cool.
are the odds of that?
Yeah, I know, right? I remember at first I wanted 4 kids, but after my second one, I said no, I'm done.
I wish I would have said no too.
Say I'm done, bro. I want my sleep back.
And your children are pretty close in age, right?
Yeah, the oldest is 3 and the youngest is 10 months.
And both boys.
Yeah, both boys.
Well, that's
So
good. Boys are much easier, I will say.
that's what I heard.
Um, Much easier. I always had gaps in between mine. I had Daisy and Samuel 2 years
Hmm.
apart. And then Elani I didn't have for, I think, 10 years.
Oh
And then
wow.
again, Elani's 14, Max is 5. So I had those gaps. So I had those breaks. Maybe that's why I continue to have
Yeah,
more, but
though yeah, that's a big gap. That's a
yeah, so
big gap.
Elani was really self-sufficient and I started all over again.
That's tough.
But
That's
they're all a blessing. They all keep me on my toes and they're all pretty good kids.
I mean mine for the most part they are, but I mean they're babies still.
Yeah.
So
But kids, even if they're bratty, kids are going to be bratty. They're kids.
yeah. And then
I have
when
a heart for children. I don't know what it is. It's just, they're kids. Leave them
you
alone.
have a what?
A heart for kids.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but I'm hearing like, yo, just wait until they grow up. Just wait until they start asking for expensive shit and start fighting. Like,
Sure.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for
And
that.
it's more expensive as they get older. You can imagine.
I
It's
know.
like the diapers are a breeze. Wait till they start asking for the newest iPhone.
Don't even remind me, Tony. Don't even remind me.
I'm like, I'd rather buy diapers.
Shoot, yeah, honestly, instead of a $1,400 iPhone,
Yes,
yeah.
it's crazy.
But guys, the reason I brought Tony here on the podcast was because I want Tony to share her story with you guys. Maybe one of you guys out there are going through the same thing Tony went. And this is how I actually found out about Tony because her baby Max was diagnosed with, what kind of cancer was it?
Wilms tumor
I don't
cancer.
know much about cancer, so
Yeah,
um
I didn't either until this, but it's a kidney cancer.
oh
It's
kidney.
very common in children that age.
Oh wow. That's scary.
Very scary thing.
Yeah, so this is the reason why I wanted to bring Tony on, so she could give if anyone's going through this situation, give you hope, just because Max is in remission now, right?
Yes,
Uh,
months,
thank God. How many months?
6 months in remission.
Oh, thank God. Thank
Yep,
God.
we've already had 2 follow-ups,
Uh,
and then he gets scans every 3 months. So scans have been great. He's thriving. He has a head full of hair.
I know.
He
I
started.
saw. I saw. I was like,
Yes.
yes, go Max. So yeah, I don't want to bring the mood down, but I want you to tell your story, how you found out. Tell us your journey on this whole Max going through cancer.
Yeah, of course. So he was 4 years old.
Hmm.
And I actually remember our entire week that week like it was yesterday. It started on a Sunday night. He was sick. He just had cold symptoms, fever, a little bit of vomiting, not really a big appetite. So he had a cold. I went to work that Monday. And I was already working outside of the home because I had got laid off from the mortgage industry. So I went full time at my part-time job.
Okay.
So when I came home, I just noticed he was sick. So I had called off the next 2 days. Still cold symptoms. He's running a fever, kind of not really eating. So then on Thursday came and the fever still hadn't broke. So this is 4 days already into a fever. So in my mind, as a mom instinct, you're like, all right, the fever hasn't broke. It's 4 days. He hasn't ate much. We're going to go to the ER. So we go to one ER and Maxwell, he has a lot of sensory issues. So he doesn't like people to touch him, check him. He's afraid of doctors. So he kind of fights them off.
I feel that
Um,
I my kids going is the same way.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's a struggle even just to get him in the door. Like I
Hmm.
have to full blown bear hug him
Yeah.
and take him.
I feel that my kid, I can't even give him a haircut
Well,
because
Max
yeah.
doesn't get haircuts
Oh
either.
yeah, mine's a struggle. It's yeah. I
It's a
feel you.
kid thing, and it's
Hmm.
like I didn't want to force him, but he was so sick. So we go, and the doctor doesn't really want to observe him. At this point, Max was already starting to breathe funny. So I mentioned to the like triage nurse, like, hey, he's starting to breathe funny. This is all the symptoms. We have to wait 3 hours. We get seen. The doctor comes in, looks at him, and says he has strep throat. We're going to give him a steroid. It's going to run its course. You're going to be fine. Okay. They didn't give x-ray.
Yeah, I was
They
gonna.
didn't listen to him breathe.
Wow.
Nothing. He looked at his throat. That's all he did. So we give him the steroid. We go home. Because of the steroid, he woke up the next day and he was fine. It was a Friday. He was completely fine. He
Hmm.
ate, he played. I had called off work again on Friday. And then on Saturday, I couldn't call off. So my boyfriend, I said, you have to call off work and stay with him. He's still really sick. And so Friday night, we were like debating, like, who's going to stay with him, who's not. Even though he's feeling okay, he still was like, he still didn't feel good, you could tell, but
Hmm.
he was like much better and he was eating. Well, then Friday night came and he threw up like 20 times. Danny, it was everywhere, at least 20 times.
What was he? Was he throwing up liquids just because you say he wasn't eating?
Well, he ate on Friday.
Oh, he ate
So
on
we were
Friday.
on the steroid
Oh, okay,
Thursday.
okay.
The steroid kind of covered symptoms.
Hmm.
He ate like he never ate before on Friday. So that's why I
Hmm.
was like, okay, he's getting better. Maybe it was strep, whatever. So he's fine all day Friday. We go to sleep. 20 times he's throwing up. So we still like in our, and I'm so mad at myself till this day because I'm like, I have to go to work. We went to the ER. They said this. You have to stay home with him. You have to call off. I go to work. My daughter came over, my oldest, and she had was texting me and like, Mom, Max looks really down. Like on his iPad, he won't even skip the commercials on YouTube. Like he had no energy. She's like, he's pale. And she said the right side of his stomach looks inflamed. So she
Hmm.
sent me a picture and I called my boss and I'm like, I have to leave. Like something is wrong with Max. Somebody has to come relieve me. She came to relieve me. We get home and we went straight to the ER, but we went to Lurie's, so a children's hospital, because I didn't want to go back to the same one. We go there. When we walked in, the triage nurse, and on the whole way there, I seriously thought I was going to lose my son. He couldn't breathe. Like he was breathing so funny. It's a 45-minute drive from us, that hospital,
Hmm.
and there was traffic. So it took us an hour and 15 minutes to get there, but I didn't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So as soon as we walked in, the triage nurse, she looked at him and she said, how long has he been breathing like that? Before I even said anything. And I said, a couple days. So I told her everything. Yeah, we took him in and they took us in right away. They didn't even make us wait in the waiting room. And within, I would say, an hour, they had diagnosed him.
Oh wow.
They did CAT scans, X-ray, ultrasound, and then he would didn't want him to do that. Even him going into the CAT scan machine, he was so weak, but he was fighting like he never fought before.
Poor
So then we
baby.
had to give him Versed. So then they took him out. They gave him like a sleeping medicine to put him through it. And when I seen three doctors walk into the room after we did all the tests, my heart just sank. And she asked us to step out of the room to go into a conference room. And I didn't want to leave him because he would be by himself if both me and his dad went.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I think we're fine here. And she said, are you sure you're fine here? And I just knew something was, I didn't think it would be cancer,
Yeah,
but I
cause
just knew something was severely wrong.
yeah, cause why would they say go to the conference room?
Yeah. And why
Hmm.
is there three doctors standing here?
Yeah, wow.
And they looked like you could tell in their face something was. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I said, no, it's fine here. And I kind of remember the moment like after they said it to us, but then I don't like, I feel like I completely went blank. And then they admitted us right away. Um, they showed us the x-ray right away, and the cancer had already spread all the way through his lungs. So it was a kidney cancer. His tumor was wrapped around his right kidney,
Mm,
and then it had already spread to his lungs, which was causing the breathing issue.
yeah.
And yeah, they admitted us right away. And I think like the hardest part was for me, like, I'm not gonna go home. I have other kids here, like
Mm,
I actually didn't know what was gonna happen, but I knew like I gotta do whatever it takes to like get him better. So he started chemo like 2 days after that. Um, the next day he had his port placement. They did the biopsy, and then they took forever to tell us what kind of cancer. Like it felt like it was months. And
did
then they told us like 4 days later
did it tell
what.
like what stage it was?
Yeah, it was stage 3.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's a very high survival rate. Wilms tumor has a very, very high survival rate. But we didn't know anything for 4 days. He's already getting chemo. He already had a port placement, a biopsy, and we don't even know what kind or anything. So it was so stressful.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I I'd probably lose my shit if I was in your shoes. And the reason your story hits to me hard is because I have a boy, probably Max's age, 3 years old. You say he got
Yeah.
diagnosed when he was 4 or 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was diagnosed when he was 3, and then, but he was about to be 4. A week later, he was 4.
Mm, yeah,
So he was diagnosed October 8th. He turned 4 October 16th, and you don't think. And then in my mind, I'm like, how did I miss this?
mm,
Did I work too much? Was I at work too much? Like, he was with grandma. Grandma raised him pretty much. 80% of the week he was there because I was a general manager. I worked 10 to 7, 10 to 8. Our babysitter was grandma because you can't afford daycare.
yeah,
So, and her house is 45 minutes away. So it was like, okay, well, I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He's got to stay there all 3 days. I'll pick him up because I'm off these 2 days. So I'm like, did I like neglect this? You have a lot of like mom guilt. Like, what did I do wrong? What did
yeah.
I do wrong? And the doctors assured us that like, this is something that can happen. This is, it's not your fault. You didn't miss anything. I questioned his pediatrician a lot,
Hmm.
and I still never got a second opinion. He used to have crazy nosebleeds. Like you would think it was a murder scene on our bed.
Oh, wow.
He used to have nosebleeds so bad, and we mentioned this to his doctor, and his doctor again kind of like, okay, well, we could burn, like they burned something in the noses to help stop bleeding, and I kind of didn't want to put him through that, but he
Mm.
didn't check, and now that we know what he has, the nosebleeds were connected to Wilm's tumor.
Wow. It's that this is why I always say like it's good to get second opinions
Yes.
on
And if you're
everything.
questioning your
Yeah.
child's doctor, you're questioning, like, that doesn't sound right. It's okay to be like, I'm going to go somewhere else to get a second opinion.
Mm,
I questioned him a lot, and I never went anywhere else
yeah.
because Max, I mean, he was thriving. He was growing fine. He had a speech delay, but that, like that's nothing.
It's normal.
I never went anywhere else. So I had a lot of mom guilt that I had to like work
Overcome,
through,
yeah. Did you stop going to that pediatrician?
Yes, we
Okay.
stopped immediately. When Max was going in for his big surgery to remove the kidney because we couldn't save the kidney, they had it. We had to get a full physical, and the lady who was scheduling the appointment, his oncology team was going to do that for him, but she was telling me I had to go to his pediatrician. And I'm like, what? This doesn't sound right again. So I call them and tell them what's going on. And mind you, I lost my job 30 days before Max was diagnosed, which meaning we lost our insurance.
Mm,
Our insurance ended, and then 8 days later, he was diagnosed. So I
wow.
had no insurance at the time. So I had applied for state insurance because I had to leave my job. Like I got laid off, went full time at the part time, and then I had to leave the job.
Hmm.
And when I told her that what kind of insurance I have, she's like, "Oh, we can't see you. We can't see you." And I was like, "What?" Like,
The hell?
so in my mind, I'm like, "Well, f you guys. I want all his medical records." And then she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, it's going to be $35 for his medical records." I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I did see he go now he goes through Lurie's.
Did I don't know if it's just me, but I'm a petty person, but I would have been like, yo, he was diagnosed with cancer and you didn't catch that. I know this might be hella petty, but did you ever say something like that to him or you just
I
left?
didn't. The nurse who was on the phone, I did say he was diagnosed with cancer. And I said, because I didn't know at the time the nosebleeds were connected
Hmm.
until we started like deep into treatment and stuff. So the only thing I mentioned was like he's diagnosed with cancer and I'm requesting, I even told her I would pay for the physical. She's like, that's against the law. We can't do that
What the
because you have
hell?
state insurance. And I was like, so you're telling me my son was diagnosed with cancer and you're his pediatrician and you guys won't see him even if I pay for the visit? It's against the law. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I would have left too.
Yep. I never
Yeah.
went back there.
Yeah.
They sent me his medical records and that was it for them.
And everything's all Gucci with your new pediatrician now? Like everything's good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Our oncology team referred us to him. So we've seen him already, I think like 4 or 5 times. And I don't have any like questioning. But I did mention to him like I have a lot of PTSD. So if I feel like I need to question, like Max has a long medical history.
Hmm.
So he's like, no, I get it. I get it, so
Yeah. I mean, I would have PTSD too because I've seen I follow you on Facebook and I seen I don't know if it was recently, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. You said he had a fever,
yes,
and
we kind of all got this cold.
yeah, so I would have been thinking going back to everything you guys live. So yeah, I feel that. Um, so how was it? How many days a week were you guys actually like in the hospital getting doing chemo and stuff for Max?
So we had to do 2 different rounds. So the first round was I don't remember what was like the treatment he had. It was weird because he got it once a week and then he would do that for 4 weeks and then he went into 5 days a week. So Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 we were in the hospital getting chemo. The
Oh.
second regimen we did because he needed a stronger one, that one was a full month of Monday through Friday 9 to 5. So he did it for around 9 months. In between that, before we went into the second regimen, he also got 15 straight radiation treatments. So there was days that we would go into radiation at 7 a.m. and then at 9 a.m. we were already upstairs in the oncology department and we were already getting chemo till 5, 6 o'clock.
Oh.
So it just depended what regimen he was getting. He ended up getting 6 different types of chemo. One of the types that he did get, he when he does get older and he becomes a man, he only has a 20% chance to conceive.
Mm,
So it was a pretty strong regimen that kind of affected
yeah.
that. They did want us to like, hey, you have this option to kind of like take it, save his like I forgot what they call it. In my mind, it's like the men stuff.
Yeah, the semen.
Yes, to take it
Mm.
and save it, and then we could test it. And I just thought in my mind, like, we would have to pay for it to be stored. Like, and in my mind, I thought if God wants him to have children, he's going to be the 20% that have
Exactly.
children. So that's
Exactly.
another conversation, when he's at an age that we have to cross with him. Um, yeah, so it's a lot.
Yeah, and I bet you wouldn't want to. You like you said, Max has sensory issues. You wouldn't want to put him through that too, just because actually I don't know how they do it, but I'm pretty sure it's probably
Well, they
hard.
did explain it to us, so it would be a surgery, and it's liquid they remove
Oh,
from like the ball sack. So it's like liquid they remove from there, and then they test it. Then
Oh.
we could save it. If it's good, we could save it. This it was a newer test. There has been about 200 children who has got the test done, but they're not old enough to figure out, hey, well, I want to have a baby. Let's see if this works. So it's not even proven that it would work, you
Mm,
know, because
mm,
Lurie's it's an education. I forget how you would call it, but they do a lot of teaching through Lurie's. So a lot of studies, especially for like cancer studies and all that.
yeah.
So then it would go into like to the teaching part of it, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So
And going back to going back to the chemo, like for those like I mentioned going through a similar situation, how do they give chemo? Is it like through a needle? Is it through a
so
tube?
it's through his port. So Maxwell and he we actually have the port, but so they put it's a little plastic piece
Okay.
right here, and then there's a very small kind of like an IV
Uh-huh.
tube, and it goes to the main artery of his heart.
Mm,
So then when we went and got it, they would call it access. So we're going to access him today because he's getting chemo. So before we would go in for treatment, we would have to put lidocaine, which is a numbing cream,
mm-hmm.
on that area. I'm going to actually I'm going to I want to show
Okay, yeah,
what it,
go for it.
the main artery in the heart, it goes in there. So this is how like the piece looks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a metal object. And this rubber piece, that's where they would access him. So if you can see, like
Yeah.
all the times he was poked. So
Oh.
then they put the IV there, they access you, and then they hook up the chemo. And what's crazy is like all the chemo bags, they have like these red, like danger, hazardous signs all over it. And so they access him and then it just goes in. And like when we were getting it, the one that was 8 hours, we would just sit in the room. They would provide lunch for us. And we would just sit there. We would bring all Max's toys and he would just play and he would be getting chemo.
Oh, so he wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if there's the right term, but like feel it.
Nope, he wouldn't feel it, especially when they accessed him since he had the lidocaine, but he was just scared. The amount of times they know, like in his chart, it was always logged. Like they would always want people to help us, like child life. Let's hold the iPad in front of him to try to calm him down. And I'm like, none of this works for him, guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
what we did is me and my boyfriend, we knew what to do. He would hold the top, I would hold the bottom, and we would literally have to like, they tried parpoosing him to access him, he got out of it. So we would just literally hold him down. They would access him. It takes like 3 seconds. And then it's like a butterfly needle. They tape it all up and then they hook him up. So he doesn't feel it. You
Okay.
know, it's all liquid going into his body. He feels it after. The side effects of chemo are very, very
Yeah,
crazy.
I was gonna say how was that like? I was like,
Vomiting, not being able to eat,
oh,
no energy. Um, he started slapping his feet. It affects walking.
mhm.
So he got to a point where he would like walk and he would just like slap his feet because he couldn't like walk properly. Um, they told us not to allow him to go up the stairs by himself. Just sleepy, vomiting, no appetite, nothing like that. And then during the mix of it, anytime he ran a fever, we were admitted because he's neutropenic. His labs are way too low. He can't fight an infection, so he needs an antibiotic. So he would be admitted at least for 3 to 4 days. And that happened to us at least 5 or 6 times.
And were these side effects every single day or every time he got chemo?
Not every time. He got I forgot the name of the chemo he got, but there was one chemo that he would get all the time.
Mhm.
He would throw up.
Mm.
I mean, and then it was like hazarded because there's chemo in there. So we have to wear gloves to clean it. Like we had to like cover our bed. Like there's so much that goes into this that I think people don't see,
Yeah.
um, unless you're dealing with it, you know? And then there was this other chemo that he got. He would be fine. He didn't have no symptoms. There was times we went to the park across the street from the hospital because he felt so good and wanted to go that we would say, okay, let's go, you know? And he would go to the park after this, you know? So he handled it very well, very, very well. A big moment for us was when his hair started falling out.
Yeah, I bet.
That was, and then his eyebrows, and then his lashes. And then you look at him, and then, you know, you obviously know how your child looks. And it's like, it doesn't look like him. Like, so it's a really rough, like, process to go through.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I can imagine going through something like this. I just want to say you and your family are very strong for, going through it, pushing through for your baby. Now that you're telling me you had to cover the bed because the vomit was had chemo. Uh yeah, just a lot of things. A
So
lot
many
of
things. There was
things.
times he had like pooping issues, and it was we had to throw away a whole sofa because
Oh.
it was just coming out, and at the time he wasn't potty trained.
Hmm.
So it was so much, it would just shoot. Danny, I don't even know how I was here alone that day. He was vomiting that day, and then all of a sudden he started having diarrhea issues. And you got to be very cautious when you clean this stuff up because chemo could seep into your pores, and it could affect a lot of things. I don't know how I did it. And then I had to get him cleaned up. He was scared. I was like gagging, and I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And it's I don't even know how to explain. I was lost for words that day, but I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah, I think it might have been a different day, but you might have posted something on Facebook regarding that because I remember seeing something like that on Facebook, and I'm like, oh,
And that was like that for like, I think that happened like two or three times.
wow.
It was so tough, you know. And then a lot of people, the life after chemo is a lot too. You can't have them in the sun. You can't. Max has a chance for a second cancer because of the radiation treatments he had. So,
Hmm.
keeping him out of the sun, and he gets a fever and you like start freaking out. And you got kid now that he's in school, all these kids that get sick, although his immune system is very strong now, but so you never know.
Yeah, yeah, especially he's in school. There a lot of germs in school, and I feel like
Yeah,
they're bound to get sick. I know you mentioned God. Did you guys like pray,
yes.
prayers?
Yes, we are prayers. We believe in God very strongly. And
Hmm.
yeah, prayers, the power of prayers, I feel like is crazy. And yeah, we prayed so much,
Yeah.
And there was times where since I had to quit my job, Lalo, I was, and I don't like, I don't say this for people to be like, oh, she was the breadwinner, but I was the breadwinner. I was a general manager.
Hmm.
And then I went into the mortgage industry and I didn't take a pay cut. I took a slight pay cut, but the amount of hours I work kind of balanced it out.
Yeah.
So for me, having to like, I lost my job. I went full time at the part time, which wasn't giving. And then, having to leave my job, and then Lalo still worked, obviously. But a lot of the times I was there alone. He had to go to work. I
Hmm.
was there alone with him.
Did you did you ever see signs like God telling you it's gonna be okay?
Yes. I feel like that moment for me wasn't right away. I had so many doubts.
Yeah, I'm sure people expect every time you pray, you feel like, oh, I need to see a sign tomorrow. Yeah.
Because when he was first diagnosed, in my mind, my prayers were a lot of like, God, why did you do this to us?
Mhm.
He doesn't deserve this. Like, why wasn't it me?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that, and a lot of like, why did you do this? And the breakthrough moment for me was after Max got his kidney removed. We were hospitalized for that whole week. It was like a 6 hour surgery.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a very dangerous surgery. So the moment for me was when he came out of surgery, um, just how he reacted. Like, it was kind of like him telling me, Mom, I'm gonna be okay. Um, and then just how he started after the mass was removed, how he started to progressively, even though he was still getting chemo, he still had lots of cancer in his lungs. He immediately started getting better. He would eat differently. Um, he was more playful. So that was a moment for me like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. God got us. God got him through a 6 hour surgery of
Mm.
removing a full kidney and a mass that was so big.
Yeah.
So I know it's going to be okay.
If I ever went through that, I would question God too. Like, why the hell are you doing this? Like, no baby in the earth deserves going like having cancer. And I
Yes.
would question it all the time. But I'm glad you prayed, you had faith, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I prayed for you guys almost every day.
My whole
Um,
platform, I believe, honestly, all of you guys were truly, without my platform, Danny, I would have never made it.
yeah,
Never made it. Financially, physically, mentally, like, it was so much to take in at one time. Like, I had to leave my job. Like, what? My kid's fighting cancer. The only thing I am worried about right now is getting him better. But life still happens.
hmm,
The bills still happen. Your other children still happen. So you
yeah,
have to learn like how to not have the guilt, how to balance it all. And it's hard. It was really, really hard. And I don't know how I did it, but I freaking did it.
yeah. I saw. Like I'm gonna say this again. You're strong. You're strong as fuck, dude. I can't imagine. But yeah, your platform, Facebook, they were going hard for you.
Yes.
I seen that every single live. They were there, and I'll be honest. I would watch your lives. I'd cry with you too.
Yeah, it was hard.
There was. I want to tell you this, but there was the day I was interviewing Rosalie. You know Rosalie Delgado
Yes.
on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, literally, she was running late. I was like, "Damn, Rosalie, where the hell you at?" No, I was sitting
Why are you
down.
late for?
Yeah, why you late? I was sitting down. I'm gonna remember this day clearly. I was watching her lives, and she was like 10 minutes away from the house to record. Bro, I was bawling with you. I forgot what video it was, but I was so like, yeah, I was just crying, dude. Things with kids hit me hard now since I have babies.
Yes.
Like for people that don't have kids are not gonna understand until you have kids. But yeah, you and your family were in my prayers every single day, and God is good. God is
That
good.
is good. And Max is, like I said, he's thriving. He even still, he knows what he went through.
Hmm.
We were always very open with him, even though he didn't understand. But we always took pictures. I took pictures of everything. Like I have pictures of him, everything. And even the other day, he was on his iPad and he was scrolling through, and the video came up of the first time he walked.
What did we choose? A big old soda and 2 bags of chips. Oh.
After he had surgery, to take the kidney out. And we walked to the cafeteria room to get him a snack, and he walked back and he was looking at the video and he said, I walked with mama. And I said, yeah, you walked. He said, I was sick, right? And I said, yeah, do you remember you had cancer? And he said, yeah. And I said,
Oh
you don't
my
have
god.
cancer no more. He said, because I got muscles.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. And now he officially takes his shirt off. So when they put the port in, he knew something was there, and he knew that he had to take his shirt off for them to access him.
Yeah.
I mean, he bathed with a shirt on for the past 2 years.
Wow.
To change his shirt, he was, in the beginning, I had to fight him, like pretty much rip off the shirt. And
Mm.
then he knew that he had control, that he would take off the shirt and then he would ball it up and he would literally hold it right here. So until I put the other shirt over his head.
Poor
And just
baby.
this past week, it was 2 weeks. He finally took a bath without a shirt. And now I'll say,
Nice.
let me see your muscles. And he'll take off his shirt and he'll run around the house with no shirt on.
Damn, I'm so
It's
happy,
normal
man.
for him. Yeah.
So happy for you and Max and the whole family. Does he have anything left here or no?
A little scar. It's a very
Okay.
little scar. So there's a scar right here on his neck because I'm assuming they put the camera here
Uh-huh.
to see where they were going. And then the scar here is very little as well.
Oh,
So
okay.
scar, but nope, they took out the port. Um, Nothing here. And then he has a scar on his stomach, which is about yay long from when they took out the kidney. So now life without, he only has one kidney. So we have to make sure when he gets older, he shouldn't really drink. He
Yeah.
got to stay hydrated. I mean, I shove water down that kid's throat daily. It's so crazy. So
Yeah.
he has to stay hydrated but yeah, he's thriving. He is thriving. He speaks full sentences now. He's in a special education program. He
Mhm.
does have some developmental delays, but he does do occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy in school. And
Mhm.
then he does occupational therapy outside of school as well.
Like I said, God is good. God is good.
Good, yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, my son also did occupational therapy for his eating.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, like I said, for those that don't have kids, they won't know until they have it, but that's the struggle. I don't know with Max, is he eating better? Is he doing good with
Oh yeah,
his
he's an
eating?
eater.
Oh,
The thing
okay.
with Max is though, when he finds like a food that he loves,
Mhm.
he will eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's like he eats eggs, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's his. Right now, he's on an egg kick.
Yeah.
So he eats really well. When he was going through chemo, though, he really didn't. Your taste buds are different,
Mhm.
so things taste different to you. He wouldn't want to eat with a metal spoon because it would taste really weird
Mhm.
because of the chemotherapy. So they did recommend for us to like buy plastic spoons. So one of my supporters sent me like a big old party size of plastic spoons for Max, and he ate out of plastic spoons for a year. But he loves spicy. So they
Oh,
did say
wow.
that kids that go through chemo, they crave spicy food, and now he eats spicy all the time.
Does he love hot Cheetos?
He loves hot Cheetos.
I'm gonna have to
Loves them.
send you a bag. Wait, is it the regular hot Cheetos or extreme?
He likes regular hot
Oh, okay,
Cheetos.
okay. I was like, damn,
But he was eating them so much. Just recently, we had an issue where it was hurting his behind,
yeah.
and he went to the bathroom, and it was red, and then it was hurting, and he was crying. And I said, "That's because you ate too much hot Cheetos."
Yeah.
So now when he eats them, he says, "Only a little bit, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, only a little bit."
Yeah, it's bound to happen. I mean, I've gone through that too, Max. I've gone through that
I'm
too.
telling you, that will mess up you up.
Yep. Well, let me just address this because I know you guys might think over there at home watching this, how could Tony get hate from all this? How? Well,
Ah,
yes, Tony literally got hate from what was it, sharing your journey on Facebook,
sharing my journey.
which is
Also because of
insane.
my GoFundMe, that was a big one.
Oh, was it because of your GoFundMe?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah, it
was. I
was. It
guess
was.
that's what was said was the GoFundMe,
Yeah.
which was made for me by my boss that I worked with that I had to leave. But just the whole situation, yeah, I got hate, and Danny, I was so taken back by getting hate for this. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, bro, you gotta be shitting me. You have to
I
be.
had to leave my job.
Uh-huh.
Even when we came home and Max was still going through chemo, I was still going live to sell, to work.
Yeah, I remember.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Was it
crazy.
was it that only specific person or was it more people that also were throwing you shade?
No, it was just her and her
Or
little people that she would have come to my live. And
yeah.
somebody came to my live the other day and said something they commented and said something, oh, because your son is not the star of the show anymore. Um, I forgot exactly what they said, but they said just basically because my son is better now. I don't even know. I would have to look at the comment of what they said. But yeah, there
Mhm.
was just somebody the other day on my live and they always talk about my son. And I'm like, how do these people talk about children?
I know. It's a wild world, especially on social media. I
Yes, like one day he was crying and somebody's like, your son's a spoiled brat. And I'm like, okay.
what the hell?
So I try not to put him on the camera as much.
Yeah, I try not to
But
as
my
well.
girls love him. So,
Hmm.
he'll start the live with me when he allows me. He doesn't like when I go live now. He says, no live, no live. So I arrange it when he's not here.
Well,
But the girls love him and I'll continue to show him.
yeah, the people that throw hate have to realize that we literally witnessed your whole journey with Max. This is the reason why he's on camera. People want to see him.
Yes.
People want to see how he's doing. But I mean, I don't know. People just,
And it's not like he got diagnosed and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a Facebook page and I'm going to like
yeah.
try to like milk it. No, I had already had a platform.
Hmm.
I had already did all of this.
Oh,
alongside while I was working.
so when did you start Facebook? Sorry, did I ask you?
I started in May, it was May of 2020,
Oh, okay. So this was years
or I'm
before.
sorry, of 21, I think.
So you
When did
started
COVID hit?
20,
21.
it's hit 2020, March 2020.
Oh, so then yeah, it was
Yeah.
May 20.
So you were on Facebook already a year before Max got diagnosed?
Yes. I was already on Facebook for a year. It was a little more, like I said, I still worked at the time, so I wasn't live as much, but I would just cook. I did start selling on Facebook before even Max was diagnosed.
Yeah.
I had joined Lola's Academy.
Awkward. I don't know who that is. I'm just kidding. Oh wow. Okay. Well, now I want to ask you about that. Wait, why you joined just because you thought it was gonna be popping or what?
Well, I mean, I was already doing lives and I wanted to sell. And I didn't know how to start. I didn't know where to buy from. I mean, I know how to make a label. I didn't know where to buy from. And so she sold the idea of you're going to buy from me at wholesale and then you could go live and sell it. She had some trainings that were like done that you watch and stuff. The trainings were good. I will say one thing, the concept and the idea of what she was trying to do was genius.
Yeah.
It just wasn't ran properly. And that's all I'll say. I'm really not a cheeseman kind of
Nah,
bitch,
yeah,
but
you're
uh,
fine. You're fine. Uh,
but it just wasn't done properly. So I did that. That's how I started selling. I would buy from her. And then it came to a point, that's when I met the other person,
oh,
Boots.
I was like, what person? What the hell? I sound like Shadi Bay. I've
And
been saying what the hell this whole what the hell?
what the hell? Here you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met her just through lives, started connecting, and told her that, hey, I was on this, I was doing this. She's like, you shouldn't buy from there, it's too expensive. So then she offered me a vendor and I started buying from both vendors. But then through the academy, I had purchased a bulk that was like $800. It took almost a month and a half to come to me. Mind you, I used my last little extra spending money on that bulk that
Yeah.
I needed to turn around, sell it to get my profit and my money back.
Mm-hmm.
It took about a month and a half to get to me.
Wow.
And
But
that's when I just removed myself silently. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to, I paid what you paid like $50 to join the academy. She gave you some vendors, which she was the vendor. And yeah, I can't, I just told myself I can't wait that long for my products.
yeah.
So I just removed myself, continued to use the other vendor.
How would you say your experience was in that academy? Without going to like big details, because I know you're not about the cheese man,
I
but
mean, it was okay. It was just, it was kind of just all over the place.
mhm.
Like we would watch, she would go live sometimes and, you know, um, talk about like things and the stuff she would talk about, like how to post, when to post and things like that. I think for me, it was like, okay, I already know this because I was already doing lives.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it was just kind of like, I'm going to go live so I can say I, went and trained,
Hmm.
and it really wasn't much. My experience, I will say 1 to 10, it was like a 4 or 5. It took too long to get my stuff. I didn't like how it ran and I silently removed myself. I would never continue just because of somebody's like following or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
And
you had my $800 for a month and a half, girl.
that's wild. And this was back in like 2020, 2021.
21, because I didn't start selling for probably a year after yeah, 21. I didn't
Oh,
start selling for like a year after I started my platform.
oh, okay. And then you went to the other person, Boots. Was
Mhm.
in
Well, she was
2021.
a friend I considered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started talking to her, I think actually like in late 2020
Oh.
is when me and her connected. Um, Through lives, started watching her and I thought she ran a great show. I used to love her show.
Mhm.
Thought it was good. She's funny. I connected with her. Thing about me is I have a really, really traumatic childhood. So, and I don't have a relationship with my mom. So I gravitate to like older women
Mhm.
who like I would be like, damn, what if she was my mom?
Yeah.
Like And so I think I would like, I connected with her on like a much bigger level than just social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for those that are like, who the hell's Boots? I don't want to say a real name, just, but Boots is a person that was giving Tony shit for having a GoFundMe.
But behind cameras, she
Yeah,
would never say it to my face.
yeah, it was behind her back. Who was she telling? Oh, she was messaging, huh?
She was messaging her followers.
Yeah.
I connected with the woman who like exposed her.
Yeah, if I remember, if I could find it, I'll put it here. But yeah, I forgot what was said, like exactly
The
said, but
screenshots were exposed, but then so she was in that inbox talking all this mess about me, but at the same time, like messaging me. Is everything okay? How's Max? Do you need anything? Oh, Daddy and the kids are gonna send you a little care package, which
uh,
I never got, which I wouldn't want anyway. But and I was just like, okay. And it kind of like the riffraff started before that situation with me and her, but she was still trying to be my friend for whatever reason. I was going through a year before Max got diagnosed. I was going through a breakup. I was, we've worked things out, but I was very open with my platform.
mhm,
And she would call me and be even like, what's going on? And I would explain it to her and like cry to her. But then she was like in somebody's inbox, like saying all this stuff about me. So the riffraff kind of started before then. I had ordered self defense keychains. I started selling them. She came on the live that I was selling them on. And then she didn't really talk much. And then she had started ignoring me. Right.
yeah,
So for like a whole week, I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Did I do something? Like, then all of a sudden she's like, I told you that I was going to sell self defense keychains, and I guess they got stopped at customs, and she lost all her money. I was like, I don't remember you telling me that. She's like, well, then all of a sudden you went and bought them and you're selling them. Are you like throwing that in my face? I was like,
what
whoa.
what the hell?
I'm like, do you really think I did this maliciously? She's like, well, it just didn't make sense. I told you this, and then like a month later, you're selling self defense keychains, and I was like, so right then and there, I kind of was like, all right, I got to kind of separate because
Yeah,
she's fucking crazy.
that's
Like,
that's wild.
but we already had a little, but she was still trying to be my friend.
Wait, yeah, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a point where I don't know if she, like, someone ripped her off and that was your friend that ripped her off
Oh,
and
yes.
owed her money?
It was one of my followers, but she's like,
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
met her before. I've
Oh,
met her. She lived in Chicago, so we've connected. She's actually a very close friend of mine still.
okay.
Lindsay
Yeah, I remember.
claimed, I guess like $500 worth of stuff on her live. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Um, and didn't pay her, and she wanted me to like not sell to her. So
Ugh,
if Target rips you off, you expect nobody to shop at Target.
exactly.
And I even have those screenshots. I mentioned it to her. I'm like, I'm not going to get in the middle of this.
Hmm.
I didn't, but she used your name. She said she was from your page. I never told her to say that. Number one. Number two, she's never did that to me. She's one of my biggest shoppers, and she's never done that to me.
Yeah.
And so she was mad at me that I didn't want to like stop selling to her, and I was okay with that. You could be mad at me all you want. I'm
Yeah.
gonna still sell to her.
Yeah, I would have been like, no, we're done. We're done.
Those were the red flags that the red flags with the keychain. I kind of thought, and I even told my boyfriend about it. I'm like, this is what's going on. He's like, you gotta leave her alone. And I knew that moment. I was like, after that, our fridge had broke down on Thanksgiving. I
Hmm.
think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of the years. She called me that day and I was telling her about it. And she was like, she was even like offering me like money and stuff. Do you need money? I was like, no, all the food we were able to save because we caught it. And when I hung up the phone, Lalo was like, don't ever take anything from her. I was like, oh, I never have. Never, never have.
Yeah, she's the type of person that, oh, remember when I gave you this?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
So
of a lot of drama on the Facebook streets. I always say this: Facebook is toxic.
toxic.
It's very
There
toxic.
is so much like I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Like in my world, you have a problem with me that bad, you're gonna be honest, you're gonna be a real ass and you're gonna come to me and say it. You're not
Hmm.
gonna be like,
Yeah, keyboard
no.
warriors. what was it, in a span of 1 year that happened? Like the hate going, Max going through it, just you going through it in general. Was it a
Yeah,
span in a year?
it was a year. Yeah, because Max had treatment for 10 months. Yeah, so about a year.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
that's when she got exposed. And I remember that day we were in radiation and she was calling me before I even seen it. And I didn't know
Oh,
why.
she
And I didn't answer. We were in radiation.
she's smart. She's trying to play it smart.
And then I see a text message from her. She's like, I should look it up.
Oh,
She was like,
yeah, I remember.
oh, they're fake. Somebody made, oh, that's how it started.
Yeah,
The
I was gonna say
screenshots are
that.
fake. Somebody made fake screenshots. You're going to see them. It's not real. Who are you going to believe? She called me, I swear to you, Danny, like 18 times. Hang up, calling, hey, message out. You're not going to answer me, but you're going to text me. I'm not going to answer you because I had already seen the messages.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say to you. Why are we going to go back and forth? I have nothing to say to you.
Yeah, I remember that she, every time she got exposed, she would always say, "Oh, they're fake. They're fake." And I remember that with yours, she said, "Yeah, there were fake screenshots." I'm like,
I mean, and I have all the messages still. Don't play with me.
"Oh shit. Don't play with Toni." Oh,
Mhm. Yeah,
geez.
she had started messaging me. I'm just trying to look for the first message because she immediately was like telling me that they were fake. It happened December 23rd of 2022. She was calling me and she's like, I'm messaging because I apologize for my wrongdoing, but they just posted is absolutely not me. I'm asking if I ever meant anything to you to not allow them to start more shit, as I know you don't need this. You know I don't need this, but you were starting this.
Yeah, you literally said that behind your back.
She even sent me the screenshots from Exposed. They were her. It was her.
Yeah.
It was her because, I was her friend for 2 years before this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew a lot of stuff about influencers that she hung with that I didn't even know. I would never say it. It's not my problem. It's not my business. But so I knew a lot of stuff about people that I didn't know. So once those came out, I was like, yep, I know it. It's her.
Yeah. When you know a person, you know. Sorry you went through that.
It was hard.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, you're going through what your son's going through, chemo, radiation, and then all the BS on social media. It's like, bro,
And then she continued to kind of like talk about it and continued and continued. I think I went live to address it once or twice. And then I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't give her the energy I have.
Yeah, I remember. I remember your live. I think I covered it. I don't know. I covered a
Yeah,
lot of
you
things.
covered it. You covered it. And then, well, Expose would always cover
Mhm.
it and post it.
Yeah. I mean, leaving that behind, leaving what that behind in 2021, 2022. No, 2022.
Yep.
Max is good. Max is all good.
Yes, 2023 was amazing. We ended it with him ringing the bell.
Oh, this is all, well, a majority of his brothers and sisters. Hi, everybody. Okay, from there. Okay, so here's the bell. Okay, do I set him up here? So, yes. Yeah, you can put it up there. Okay.
Maybe stand it up and hold on to it.
Okay.
And then you just read this.
Okay.
English or Spanish, doesn't matter. And then
I'll cheer. Everybody's gonna cheer for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ready? Okay. It says, ring this bell 3 times well. It's told to clearly say my treatment's done. This course is done. And I'm on my way. Are you ready? Ring it, Mom! Woo!
Make-A-Wish
I
has
saw
provided
that.
his wish.
I saw
So we're going
that.
to Disney in February.
Oh, nice.
And what's even better is he's thriving, so he's truly going to enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just got medical clearance for him, so it's all set in stone. I didn't want to, he should have started preschool, obviously, this year in September, but I was back and forth on letting him go. I
Yeah.
was, and his pediatrician kept telling me he needs it. He needs it. He will be getting diagnosed or tested we think he's kind of on the spectrum
Okay.
of autism. So we're starting that process of getting him diagnosed and if there is anything wrong. But the doctor kept saying, like, this will be good for him. He doesn't speak sentences. And I didn't want to let him go. I didn't, even though he was thriving, I'm like, he could wait another year. I don't want
Yeah.
to let him go either,
Yeah.
but I let him go. He truly likes it. He cries still when we drop him off, but the teacher's like, those are fake tears. Cause as soon as we hit the classroom, nothing's wrong with him.
Yeah. He's a different kid.
He's a different kid.
Yeah.
The first 2 days they had to bear hug him and walk him in. He
Oh.
even threw his water bottle across the room because he didn't want to go with them.
Gee.
So in my mind, I'm like, do I leave him? Do I leave him? Are you guys sure? Like, if you guys have any kind of symptoms, like, are you guys going to tell the nurse? And so they assured me that they will. So
Does he go for the full day or just half a
no,
day?
right now he's just half day.
Oh, okay. So what time does he get out?
He starts at 8:30. He's out at 11:15.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Today he didn't have school because of our little snow.
Our little, it's probably a lot.
It's not that much.
Another question before we end this: have you guys ever been to Disneyland, or this will be his first time?
This would be Max's first time. Actually,
Okay.
because my daughter, my 14-year-old, gets to go too, so it'll be her first time too. I've been to
Oh.
Disney as a little kid,
Uh-huh.
but not as an adult and not as a mom.
Yeah. Well, have fun. It's a lot of fun.
I've heard.
A lot of
And
waiting.
there's so many benefits that Make-A-Wish gives us. So I'm like, I am gonna go enjoy all these $20 churros.
Yeah, for real. Probably 40 now.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, have fun. You guys deserve it.
Yeah.
You are gonna be waiting in line. I don't know if they gave you like any fast
Oh yeah,
pass.
we get fast passes.
Okay, cool.
We get fast passes. We stay on a Make-A-Wish Foundation. They have like their own resort there.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
our resort we stay on, it's only Make-A-Wish families. And then they give us a rent-a-car. We're gonna do Disney, Universal, and Legoland.
Damn, so they're paying for everything.
Every single thing. They even
Oh.
pick us up and take us to the airport. They give us a credit card.
Jeez.
They paid for our flights,
That's dope.
everything. And then on the resort we stay on, literally, even in Disney, when we go up there, everything is free. We have a guide, like the people who go with you or whatever will have a guide and everything. And if Max was still going through treatment, it would have been like secluded for him. Like he would have got walked around through the back for each ride. But since he's not, he's thriving. We get to run through the park and everything.
Do you guys get the VIP pass?
Yes. We get everything. Everything.
Wow, you guys, that's
So Max
awesome.
deserves this.
Yes, he
fought
does.
really hard.
He does.
So that's what I said. I'm like, because Ailani was like, oh, and I'm like, Ailani, I just want you to know this is Max's trip. So whatever Max wants to do, your 14-year-old self is gonna have to stick it up and do it.
How many of you guys are going?
So they only allow under 18 who lives in our home. So it's just me,
Uh.
Ailani, Max, and then my boyfriend.
Okay.
But he has 2 daughters that don't live with us, obviously, but they come here, but he has to pay for them to go. So Make-A-Wish will add them to our itinerary and make sure that they stay with us and book the same flight, but he has to pay for them to go. So he's going to pay for his 2 girls to go with us because they're little still.
Oh,
So yeah, Max, I have fun. I mean, and he loves stuff like that. And now that he's feeling better, he's a little older, I think he's going to really love it.
Does he have a favorite Disney character?
Not Disney. He likes Miraculous.
Oh,
Miraculous is Disney, right? Yeah, they're Disney. They're on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Is it a Disney Channel show?
It's a Disney Channel show, yeah.
Oh, okay,
They
but
have like superpowers and stuff.
oh, okay, yeah,
Paw Patrol he loves, but Paw Patrol's Nickelodeon.
oh yeah, it is. My kid's into Bluey.
Max was into Bluey for a really long time. Do you know they're actually really bad characters? Not bad characters, but they're bad children.
Yeah, they're bad kids, dude. But my fiance was telling me that it's I don't know if it's true, right? But she heard something like that show is meant for the parents. Like if
to watch.
It gives like parents life lessons. I don't know, like if you watch an episode, put yourself in the parent's shoes, I guess, and it kind of does make sense. Like some episodes.
I guess it does, yeah, because I've watched lots of episodes of him.
Yeah, but yeah, my son, well, both of them are into Bluey, and right now Super Mario the movie.
Yeah, Max is into Mario right now too.
So yeah, he's gonna love Universal.
Yeah, I'm excited. So you've been, I assume, right? Have you guys been with your children?
Yes, we've only with one, the oldest one, because the other one wasn't born yet. But Yeah, we did the same Disneyland and Universal. He loved
Okay,
it.
good.
So you guys are gonna have a lot of fun.
I'm excited.
I'm happy for you guys, honestly. Well, yeah, Tony, thank you so much for being here today, telling your
Thank you for having
story.
me.
Do you have anywhere you wanna plug, like Cooking with Tony, your Facebook?
At Cooking with Toni, follow me. I go live almost every day. We cook, I sell, we chit chat,
Yeah.
uh, drink coffee.
No worries.
I'm
I'll
on like
leave.
a little health journey right now,
Oh
so
yeah, I saw that. How's that going before we leave?
it's been really good. I gym 6 days a week now. I didn't go today because I am a little sick today, but
Okay.
so I didn't want to spread germs. But yeah, I gym 6 days a week, and
Nice.
I'm down 16 pounds.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm doing it. I have to be healthy. Max is a very energetic kid. And I truly think like watching Max go through things, I just feel like I have to just be better. I have to be better mentally, physically, my health, like
Mhm.
everything, you know? It humbled the shit out of me.
Yeah. Congratulations on your health journey. I'm going through one too. Same for my kids. Literally, kids change your life, guys. Kids
They
change your life.
change your life.
Yes.
If you don't have children, just don't do it. Just live your life.
Exactly. Every time me and my fiance like, what would we doing? What would we be doing now if we didn't have kids? Probably traveling. Uh,
Traveling,
yeah.
drinking,
Being lazy, watching Netflix.
facts.
But yeah, thank you once again so much. I'll leave all her accounts or Facebook in the link below in the description box. But yeah, thank you, Tony. Hopefully, you have a great rest of your day, and
You too.
say hi to Max too for me.
I will.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
thank you.